don't know exactly why I went to Cornwall in the first place. Perhaps I was in the search for an unknown story from the quiet corner of Britain. Perhaps I was looking for affirmation of separatism in an age of all-powerful democracy and national unification. Or perhaps I was just searching for the reasons why any of this mattered to me. The British Army marched to this rugged toe of their land to acquire tin for their shields and armour. My interest was in the similarities between Ireland's struggle for freedom in the past and the struggle of Cornwall in the present. Both of these Celtic nations defined themselves in opposition to their imperial neighbour. Both carry the token emblems of language and culture as they ask for recognition. Ireland has been recognised. Cornwall has been ignored. By Brunel's Royal Albert Bridge, I crossed the Tamar River from England into Cornwall. This iron symbol of imperial industry brought me closer to knowing more about the Cornish separatist movement. I wanted to meet the people who were involved, and I guess I also wanted to galvanise my patriotic armour, and no better place to do it than an English county that does not consider itself part of England.
Hello there, sorry to disturb you. I'm Phil Render, I'm presently your town councillor. And there's a district election next week on Thursday.
Yes. I do postal votes.
You do postal votes?
Yeah.
Have you done it already, have you?
It's all done already.
Oh, that's good, that's fine. I'm sorry to disturb you then. All the best then.
Bye now.
Look after yourself.
I felt quite at home here in Cornwall. Its people, its landscape, its pace, all seemed so familiar yet so fresh. This country that could almost have been an island was pushing itself further from the mainland and demanding a voice of its own, and that was what I wanted to document. My Celtic cousins were celebrating their own identity, and I wanted to acknowledge that with my film. But something didn't feel quite right. Cornwall's mine shafts now stand like monuments to a bygone age. Perhaps the revival of the language and culture are merely monuments too. The local economy is now based around tourism, and at one of Cornwall's last tin mines to close, a direct transition from the old way to the new is very evident.
I mean, I'm a baker by trade, that's my trade. I've done 5 years. I do wedding cakes, I've done wedding cakes, I do birthday cakes. Pasties, make quite a few pasties, kill quite a few seagulls down Land's End with them, but we won't go into that. Okay, my answer, you come through.
You know, we have reunions now once a year when people come there and say that, you know, I wish your mine was still working, blah, 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 you know, but no, I can't see it. We're all now, what was that? That was 86. We're all 20 years older, you know, and you've got to look at it from that concept as well. It's a young man's job, to be honest. But it was nice to be part of it. It's nice to be part of the Cornish heritage, because I am Cornish and I'm proud of it. You know, this is my country, really. You know, like you people. Yeah, be proud of it, wherever you come from.
Though the declining world price of tin no longer allowed their mine to operate, the miners kept their tradition preserved, whilst preserving their salaries too. The miner I met was to me a man who embodied all of the heartfelt characteristics of a Cornishman. He, like his country, had adapted to a new environment. But it didn't matter to him whether Cornwall was formally considered separate to England or not. It was separate in his mind, and that was all that mattered. However, I was doubtful about the politicians' philosophy. I wanted to know what the voters thought so that the results that evening would be more than just numbers, The demand for a Cornish Parliament is largely ignored in the rest of Britain, and I was curious as to how much support there was for it in Penzance.
And shall Trelawney live, and shall Trelawney die, his 20,000 Cornish men will know the reason why. We sing that at the end of many a concert, you know.
And is it important to you to sing the Cornish anthem as opposed to God Save the Queen, or...?
Oh, no. We sing the national anthem above all things. Nothing can beat it. We are true British.
So what would you think of a separate parliament for Cornwall? What would your opinion be for that?
No, I think it would be a waste of time. There are people who think that sort of thing, but it's playing with games. Don't have the influence, and you will never get much done like that. We would be divided, and when you're divided, you're weaker.
As to whether there should be some sort of national parliament or assembly, and Cornwall being too small for it, well, the Isle of Man is another Celtic country which is smaller than Cornwall and has its own legislature. And the argument I make is, what size should a country be to qualify for democracy? And the answer is the size it is. No bigger, no smaller.
We have the first result of the evening. I, the undersigned, being the returning officer at the election of a councillor for the Penzance Central Ward, to hereby give notice that the number of votes recorded for each candidate at the said election is as follows. Durant Melville John, Liberal Democrat, 317. Olivier Cornelius Michael John, the Labour Party candidate, 278. Rendell Philip Charles Henry, Mebyan Kernow, the Party for Cornwall, 135. Stevens Graham John, the Conservative Party, 402 elected.
I was not surprised by the politician's failure that evening to be re-elected, or by his meticulous notation of the exact vote count, for the whole thing seemed more like a hobby to him than a heartfelt cause. But my derision of the demand for a Cornish Parliament is somewhat of a hypocrisy, as the same flaws exist in my own nationalism. Cornwall and I have created ourselves from choice cuts of history, language, and traditional culture. These emblems of a unique identity really express nothing more than the badge on the bonnet of a car. They symbolize the consciousness of a nation, no more than the car badge does the workings of its engine. In a world of ever-increasing nation-states, the most important thing to maintain, I feel, is common sense. Common sense about the necessity for separation.
The third section, tailings, sand. We don't need it. It makes up the beaches around Cornwall. So the top one is good, the middle one is goodish, and the third one is rubbish. And that's all the tables do. But just like a cowboy that panned for gold, exactly the same as that cowboy. Hope you got no questions, that's all I know. Any questions, my lovers?